I say one of deliberately because in Georgia, there is perhaps one other man in the state, in state Republican politics, whose endorsement also carries a lot of weight. Does it carry more than President Donald Trump's? We don't know. But we will have a better sense in just about 24 hours because Governor Brian Kemp has strongly backed Congressman Collins' opponent, Derek Doley. Governor Kemp has endorsed Doley essentially from the very beginning of his campaign. He has campaigned in person all across the state alongside of Derek Doley at numerous campaign stops. And this morning, just a few hours ago, Governor Brian Kemp once again, this time on the eve of Election Day, reiterated his support for Derek Doley. Here's part of that event.
Let's talk about the Donald Trump endorsement. Coach Doley and Governor Kemp, you both worked very hard either to get Trump's endorsement or at least to keep him on the sidelines. Did you feel betrayed early Sunday morning when you saw, or when you woke up Sunday when you saw that social media post for Donald Trump endorsement when you arrived?
My position has not changed since the day I got into this race. And I said I'd be honored to have everybody's endorsement, but the most important endorsement I've been working toward every single day is that of the people of Georgia, because that's what matters most. And that's what I'm going to continue to focus on for these next 24 hours.
Governor, you on that question?
Yeah, well, look, I was very clear with the president of why I thought we needed a political outsider in this race, and the best political outsider was Derek Doley to beat Jon Ossoff. You know, obviously he disagreed with that, and the voters are going to weigh in tomorrow to settle that score. But the fact remains that the First Lady, the girls, and I know Derek Doley is our best chance to beating Jon Ossoff. And it really comes down, as Derek just said, to electability. And my message to the voters out there is, you know, do you want somebody that can beat Jon Ossoff on our ticket and really to lead our ticket in November and make sure the Republicans do well up and down the ballot? Then you need to vote for Derek Doley because he absolutely, in my eyes, is our best choice.
How important President Trump's endorsement is in a primary. I wonder if Coach pulls it off tomorrow and wins, does not getting the president's endorsement help or hurt him in the general election?
Well, I'm not worried about any political equations or keeping score. Everything I'm doing is to make sure we win in November. I've been very clear about that. I talked about that this morning early about my endorsement in the governor's races, making sure that we have the right people at the top of the ticket that can win and make sure, you know, we retire Jon Ossoff from the U.S. Senate and make sure that, Lord help, Keisha Lance Bottoms is not leading our state in the governor's office. So that is driving my decisions. I'm not worried about, and look, I understand if people think differently, but, you know, when you're governor, you got to make tough decisions every day. And I know there's some people that may like the decisions I've made, some of them that may not, but at least people know where I am. I mean, they got to decide who they're going to vote for. But the real endorsement is tomorrow. It's with the people of the state, and they're going to decide who they want at the top of the ticket.
But Coach, what is your message to voters who have been waiting for the president to weigh in, and he's saying he's going to support the other guy?
Very simple. A vote for Mike Collins is a vote for Jon Ossoff. A vote for me is a vote for the people of Georgia.
Coach, I guess a sappy question. What have you learned?
Sappy.
Sappy.
What have you learned about
look that
yourself
up.
on the campaign trail since you got the race? This is your second time with an election now after the primary, first time doing this.
What I've learned more than anything is more about the people of this great state. And it has been really inspirational to me. You know, it's so easy to look around and get cynical. You live in this little internet bubble people live in. But as I go around the state and just see an incredible amount of people that have faith, they have community, they work their tails off to provide for their family, there's a lot of love, and it's inspirational to me on the future of our country. And that's why I've always said I'm running, because I care about the future of our country. I have so much pride in it. I got 3 kids in their 20s, and all I want is that they have the same pride in it that we have. And I've seen that on the ground. So I don't get caught up in all the politics and the internet and all that stuff. I go what's on the ground, and I know how the Georgia people feel.
Yeah. What are you hearing from voters as we get closer to the runoff tomorrow? What's their main concern? What's bringing them out to the polls, and how are you kind of assuaging their concerns?
Their number one concern around the state is the frustration of an inept Congress that is not working for the people. And they want change. And they need not only change leadership, but they want change in how things are done. So we get better people up there running, and we incentivize them to work for the people of Georgia, not for themselves. And that's what I'm committed to do.
Last question.
I have a quick question for both. Governor Kemp, my question for you is, if endorsing Lieutenant Governor Jones, you're endorsing the insider over the outsider. But in the Senate race, you're saying Georgia needs an outsider. So how can both be true? Can you help explain how that's not contradictory?
Well, I think most Georgians out there realize the, their view on how the state's operating and the favorabilities of what we've done here in Georgia, cutting taxes, giving teacher pay raises, standing with our men and women in law enforcement, having record economic development projects and job growth, no matter your zip code, and a whole litany of other things, is very favorable. And we want to keep that going, really building off the great legacy of people that came before me. When you think about Sonny Perdue, Nathan Deal, what we've been able to do in my administration, working with the Republican leadership in the House and in the Senate, giving $12 billion back to the taxpayers. But then you think about Washington, D.C., we're running against their inaction, like Derek just said. I mean, I don't know if you've seen any polls on the approval ratings of Congress, but I think it's down into the teens now. And we got to send a different leader to Washington, D.C., which is why I've been supporting Derek Doley this whole time, because we need somebody that can post up against John Ossoff on his record of inaction or being acting on things that Georgians don't support, that don't represent our values. And Derek's going to change that and run against that. And he won't have to be on his heels defending his own record or ethics charges or anything else.
And that'll do it. Thank you.
All right, thanks for coming.